Hi, I'm Scott Stripling, Director of the Excavations at Ancient Shiloh. We're here today to brag about our new flotation machine. This is Brent Hofling, a member of our excavation staff. Brent is operating the machinery, and so he's putting the trays in place here. This is going to take a couple of minutes. So I'm going to sit down now with the three masterminds behind building this system that will come back and check in on you, Brent, and you'll show us how this thing works. Sound good?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Thank you.
Sitting here with Dr. Linda Whitaker, Dr. Professor Haskell Greenfield, and our chief engineer, Stephen Rudd, who made all of these great ideas come together. We were sitting here about a year ago, and Haskell, you had introduced Linda to us and said this would be someone that could really help us get better in fraction. And I sort of threw a challenge out to you guys and said, build me a better mousetrap. We need a better flotation system. You worked on it all year long, and what you came up with was brilliant. And then Steve put it all together. So from your perspective, Haskell, why did we need to do this, and how did the process unfold?
Well, we need to do systematic flotation. That includes not only the stuff that floats, but the stuff that sinks. And the stuff that sinks, you have to, you can get tiny fragments of everything from the fish bones to bird bones to rodent bones that tell us all about the economy and the ecology of the region. And one of the reasons I wanted Linda involved is that she's a real ecologist.
Right. So, Linda, you are an archaeobotanist. Tell everybody what that is.
Right. Okay, I'm an archaeobotanist, among other things. I've been doing this for about 8 years. This is a field which extracts organic material and plant material particularly, and in particular seeds from the soil and archaeological sites. Organic material floats, and that's why we call this a flotation system. But as Haskell pointed out, we're also looking at the bottom samples, which is something I had not done before. What you're looking at here are the products of this machine.
Okay, so what is this?
This is the raw material dried that came out from the bottom of the flotation system. This is going to have to be sorted.
And it's already sort of been picked through and cleaned.
The big rocks have been taken out. However, what we get here, these are the organic material. Okay. This would include some seeds, which I have to go through with the microscope. You can't do this by eye.
So this is phase one in the field, and then in the lab is where you'll really do the hard work.
That's hours and hours of that. However, we're also getting interesting things I've not seen before, which are bones. Bones, pottery, shells, all kinds of heavy material we're getting that we don't normally get very easily. Well, see how fine these bones are?
So why did the guy next to you, why did his eyes light up when you said bones?
It's because he's a zooarchaeologist, and he's been really wanting to get the small bones, which we don't get normally. Now, that's because of the fragility of both the seeds and the bones. We spent the winter discussing with Steve on Zoom from between Canada and Israel on how to create a machine that would be more gentle. I worked with commercial machines that often break these things up.
So, Steve, all these conversations were going on. Y'all were looping me into all these things, and I knew what was going on. I was excited. And I'd seen what you'd done before in building our wet sifting system. So I knew that it would come out well. And tell us how you built this thing.
Well, the first thing was they supplied me with a number of blueprints of commercial machines. I looked at it, then collaborated, and I listened carefully, and there was different things each of them wanted. So I decided to design this machine from the bottom up so that everybody was happy and everybody got what they wanted. And then put the blueprints together. We went through several rounds, 3 phases, and then it was built in Canada at a commercial machinery shop, and then we brought it here and set it up. There it is. There are several unique and innovative design features to this fraction machine not found on other commercial machines. The electronic controller that you see here. Now there's 6 switches, and this is the power, and you see there's a little light that shows you that it's on. This here is an auto fill feature, where there's an auto fill level here, and when you turn it on, it will add water to the tank to a predetermined level over here, and then automatically shut off. Then we have 4 switches which power these 4 electro valves. We have water going in underneath each of the 4 bottom screens. So we can turn each one of them on individually, and you can see here the water's coming through all 4. There's the bottom sprayer, there's the second, there's the third, and there's the 4th input. And they can all be on at the same time, or they can be off one at a time. One more unique feature of this is that it works well for carbon-14 sampling and radiometric dating. We have the drain system down here so that every time we fill this up, we drain it out into the wet sifter, so we have fresh water. Most other commercial machines recycle the water, which cross-contaminates the C14 testing.
And it worked perfectly.
Oh, yes.
So people have been visiting the site the last 3 weeks, and their jaws drop when they see the system. And as you said, Linda, you've never seen anything like this.
I've never seen such a gentle system, and that's important. We can do simple washover, which is gentle, but we don't get the same amount of it spraying. This is a wonderful machine.
Part of the beauty of our system is that it's all interconnected with our wet sifting system, so no water is wasted. It's being recycled, it's going through our system, and in the end it all drains out into the fields and waters the plants out there. So it's really brilliant. I think folks would like to see how this system works, Steve. Why don't you come with me, and Brent's ready for us, and let's see how it actually happens. This is how the magic is made. And so when we left Brent a minute ago, he was still getting all the screens in here. He's got a pail that's ready to be sifted. And where is this from, Brent? What does the tag say? Okay, so I saw this coming out of the ground. This comes from an important locus. So tell us what happens, Brent.
All right, so I'm going to put it to the main sifter. There's levels of screen that's going to catch the different particulates. You just go through here first. And the float, the instant float and drop the stop is going to come out.
Okay, and let's get a close-up of what's coming in here. So already we're getting organic material that's being collected. The dirt's going through. Steve, what are we missing? What's going on?
Well, this is a 1 millimeter screen, and it's floating through. But this is the top. That is the large objects that will go through the wet sift. And there's 4 different screens. There's a 10, a 6, a 2, and a 1.
So it gets increasingly fine machine.
Yes.
Okay.
And so this is the float, the light fraction that floats and overflows here, and then this will be taken out and analyzed.
So Brent, what do you do next?
All right, so because most of the float has come off, some of it will stick to the edges here, so I'll walk through here just to make sure that we get all the very light fraction. And then I'm going to go and...
This is the part I wanted to see. Okay. So you're going to dive down in here.
Dive in there.
Set these seeds free.
Right. Okay. So the first mesh screen there is going to catch most of the rest of the deposit.
Then in all the time, dirt is flowing through, so the key is to get rid of all the dirt in the process. So we're just getting...
And you can see more seeds and things
throwing it up.
And make sure that that's washed off. And then I'll bring it up.
Okay, so that screen's going to come out.
That screen's going to come out, and I'll do this 3 more times.
With increasingly smaller screens.
Right.
Okay, this is exciting, folks. And by the way, if you're giving contributions to the Shiloh dig through ABR, digshiloh.org, this is the type of thing that your donations are going to. This helps us create the high technology that enables us to be excellent in the field. So what's inside here?
Okay, so we're going to have the small stones, the bigger of the small stones, and we've got pieces of bone in there, pieces of pottery in there, you know, a little bit of flint, maybe flint debitage. And that's what's going to be in here. The things that are not going to pass through this side.
It's only a matter of time until there's a bullet that's gonna, or a piece of a bullet that's gonna come in here.
Right. So we've got basically lots of it sitting back.
Okay. And then you'll use increasingly smaller sizes of screen.
Right.
Until in the end, all the organic materials collected, and see what happens with it then.
Well, then what Brent does is he takes it and puts it into there. It creates 6 different sizes of material, and then that is all placed by Brent in these blue trays over here.
Okay. So then it dries overnight, 24 hours. And then after it dries, we take it over to the table where we process through that material.
Right.
And then we get it down to the part that Linda can take to the lab and analyze. And then we get all these seeds. For every one we used to get, we'll probably get 100 seeds now. And then after Linda processes them, we're going to send them to Tübingen, Germany, where the world's best archaeobotanists are, where they'll then identify each seed. And what's that going to tell us? What life was like in biblical times.
And that's fantastic.
Steve, congratulations on the success. You named the machine, right?
FAST.
Okay, which stands for?
FAST stands for Fraction Archaeobiological Shiloh Technology.
And you heard it here first, folks. So that's
FAST machine. Okay, Linda, what you've used the machine. You've done about 40 pails. What is your experience with this new machine?
First of all, it's very fast. We can do a lot more samples than we can with a conventional machine.
So hence FAST, the acronym.
It is fast.
Okay, so you're happy with it.
Yeah, now what we have to figure out is where to put all the drawing samples.
Well, all I do is build the machine. Your job is to figure out how to use it.
That's for next year.
That's a little bit about what's going on with our new technology this year in the field in ancient Shiloh. So appreciate you tuning in.